The Kremlin has threatened Europe, the United States with serious consequences, including tit-for-tat financial confiscations and even the rupture of diplomatic relations, if Russian assets held abroad are handed over to help Ukraine's budget war effort. The Biden administration and European leaders plan to seize more than $300 billion of Russian central bank assets will be frozen after Moscow launches a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. A spokesman for Vladimir Putin told reporters on Friday, "They must understand that Russia will never leave those who did this alone," he said in February 2022. The New York Times reported Thursday that Biden administration has begun urgent talks with G7 countries about how it might plan an unprecedented seizure of funds believed to be held mostly in Europe and whether the funds could be spent directly on United States for Ukraine's military efforts or simply for reconstruction and budgetary use. According to the newspaper's report, it was said that Joe Biden did not sign the strategy, but the debate has accelerated because Republicans blocked deal in Congress provide new military aid to Ukraine, potentially frustrating Ukraine's war effort at desperate moment after Ukrainian counteroffensive failed provide decisive breakthrough in the war. Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, on news that the Biden administration is pressuring European countries to prepare plans for a potential seizure by February, said, "The illegitimate seizure of our assets always remains on agenda both in Europe and America. This issue is unacceptable to us. It is potentially extremely dangerous for the global financial system." Biden on Friday also signed an executive order that will blacklist banks and other financial institutions that support Russian weapons manufacturing industries, in an effort to deprive the Russian war machine of key components such as semiconductors and machine tools. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the United States will not hesitate to use the new tools provided by this authority to take decisive and surgical action. This will also affect exports of diamonds and seafood, both of which originate from Russia but are mostly processed outside the country. Russia warned the diplomatic consequences of further escalation tensions. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said he did not want to dwell on negative scenarios but suggested that the seizure of assets could be a trigger for a possible conflict that could lead to a rupture of relations. The Ukrainian government had previously called on its supporters west to seize Russian assets to create a reconstruction fund for Ukraine. But the Biden administration opposed this, and Yellen said in 2022 that seizing is not something that is legally allowed United Kingdom states without an act of Congress. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelenskiy said at the meeting of global financial leaders in Washington in April, "It is necessary to work on concrete mechanisms for using